Lorenzo Smith. I'm the Dean of the College of Engineering and Computer Science at Sac State. Your undergraduate experience. Let's think about what it takes to be successful as an undergraduate pursuing that bachelor's degree. The first thing is, actually there's a series of things, it's something you already know. You've been told this for many years, but it's worth repeating. First of all, start with the basics. You know how important it is to attend class regularly, to sit toward the front of the class, attend office hours. These are some of the few things that you already know, but it's so easy to lose track of that. When you get to a large campus, you're going to have many distractions. And sometimes students, when they get away from high school, they get out into the world with all these options, they lose track of some of the basics. Now let's just talk about, for example, the importance of connecting with the professor in office hours. The reason why you go to office hours, first of all, is to get help with the problems for which you are struggling. But there's more to it than that. Think about it. When you're working with that professor, they are getting to know you better. They're understanding how you click. And see, when they understand you better, they're able to teach you better. There's another slant on that, and that is you understand the professor better. The more time you spend with them, you can understand how they teach, and it will help with that chemistry. So going to those office hours, even if you think that, I've got it all figured out, it's very, very important. There's another aspect, and that is the professor might be someone who could write a wonderful letter of recommendation for you. If they don't know you, if they're not familiar with what you're able to do, how can they write a good, strong letter of recommendation? So those are some of the basics. Let me talk about some of the secrets. I cannot emphasize how important it is to get involved in extracurricular activities. Not at the expense of doing well in your classes, but if you manage your time well, you can get involved with student organizations. I know firsthand that when these companies look at this stack of resumes, they're going to be sorting through and looking for all of those resumes that show leadership experience in Formula SAE, for example, or the Concrete Canoe team. They're looking for leadership experiences, things that separate you from all of your other peers. And so that's a secret that some students don't quite get. Get involved in those extracurricular activities to separate yourself. Internships, very, very important. Well, let's just suppose that you can't get that internship with that big company. There's another thing you can do. How about going to that professor, knocking on that professor's door and say, "Professor, I looked at your website, it looks like it's really exciting. I attended your class, I did well in it. Is there any way I can get involved? Volunteer! I'm happy to volunteer, professor, to work in your lab." If you make that investment of time, the professor, and show that interest, the professor almost always will welcome you with open arms, and it's an opportunity for you to prove to the professor what you're capable of, and that could lead to a paid internship later on because that professor, more often than not, is connected in industry. So those are some tips for the undergraduate.